so I'll try to keep watching on the participants and get y'all in. I'm going to share my screen also, but I want to welcome everybody. This is the first Zoom call for FinerWorks. I'm Melissa Hernandez, and I'm do marketing and sales for FinerWorks. I came here about 3 years ago, basically, you know, thought I'd place an order, and I found out they were so wonderful. I worked as a artist assistant for about 6 years for a local artist, Robert Tatum. And we had, you know, several times he's had me look to find printers, and we were always looking outside of San Antonio, which is where FinerWorks is based. And it was great to find this company because they have a stockpile of fine art papers, and not only that, they're Hammermill certified as well. And we'll go into that when we look into things, so you can see what Hammermill paper is if you're not familiar with it. They also have Strathmore papers, which a lot of artists are familiar with. So they were wonderful. I came in, I started working in production and doing the canvases. I love it. It's a great company. They're also very supportive of artists. And the company itself has been around since the late 90s, early 2000s, and they were originally a canvas printer. And basically, as they've grown over the years, they have added other media on there to make prints. And photographers and artists worldwide are actually the first ones to find FinerWorks. Most of our, we do a lot of order fulfillment for many artists that have Etsy shops, Shopify shops now too. They're and have their own websites and need order fulfillment. We print it here. They have uploaded their logos, their business information, and we send the art piece out, or the print out, and it has the artist logo on there. It looks like it came from the artist. So that's the order fulfillment on there. And you know, you're making, you know, basically residual money on your art, not off, you know, you have the original piece, but you can be making more money. So I'm going to show you our site, and then we're going to go into Geo Galleries. Let me come to FinerWorks.com. This is our site here. Again, you can start just kind of ordering online. I suggest signing in and creating an account, but this is us here. Our blog also has great information, especially if you are new to doing printing, because one of the biggest things that you need to learn to do is the digital capture of your art. And just like with your art skill, it takes some finesse and it takes some learning to do. So, you know, don't get too discouraged on that. I always tell people to have their art photographed. If you're using resin, please have it photographed before you have it layered with the resin. So digital capture of your art is going to be key. With us, we do a lot of stuff as 300 DPI or higher. Well, 300 DPI is really all you need to upload. So you're going to have a high res file. This is one reason FinerWorks is not going to be as accessible through a mobile device, because a lot of the times any of those files are going to be on a desktop. So you want to make sure you kind of go ahead and get onto your desktop and go to FinerWorks.com to do this. With FinerWorks, like I said, we have a connection to is Geo Galleries. Like I said, FinerWorks is, I love it because they're very supportive of artists. For a long time, we had a gallery that was sitting on the FinerWorks website. And it was very simple, but the branding to it was clearly FinerWorks as a printer. So we created Geo Galleries to kind of move those galleries over and allow our artists to have basically their own pages on here. We have Mary is on there, and this kind of let an artist have their own space, or to even say that they are representative on these. Now you can go to other like Etsy, Shopify. This is, think of another point of sale on the internet for you, and you don't have to come up with money up front to do anything. And that was another reason I really liked Geo Galleries when we were planning it. So you can upload and people can kind of come when you get in here. Let me see. We go to John Kane's right here, this image. Let's get to his bio. So an artist or photographer can start, you know, with their photo here, their name, their gallery thing. Their username becomes basically their Geo Galleries URL. So you want to be, when you kind of create that username, think about it. If you, for whatever reason, you get on there and you've created something and you're not happy with it, just contact me. We'll update that for you. Then on there, they start to make their own collections. They assign a category on here. This lets shoppers who may not know what they want to look, and there's basically some of the top categories that people have searched for on art. And then they're able to go into any of the collections. The collections are self-created. You make what you want to call them. So if you have a series, maybe like the blue series, or you can do it by show, then black and white photos. If you're just, you know, want to be kind of whatever you want to make those collections within your thing, you name them, and you kind of make your own stuff on there. And you could click on the image and it'll take you to the image, and it provides your customers basically with stuff they can buy. And that's Geo Galleries right there. So I'm going to show y'all how you go ahead and you do that. You first off, you want to make a FinerWorks account. You do not want to make an account from Geo Galleries. Like right here, it says my account. What happens when you make my account here, you're basically making a buyer account. So for artists and photographers, you want to be on FinerWorks, create an account. Okay, so I should be logged into mine right here. And when I get there, I'm going to go to my account. So you create a FinerWorks account, and you're going to have to go ahead and verify that you made that. You'll get an email right after you make your username and login. Just verify the email, and you're into here. You have your dashboard here. And the dashboard is basically almost identical once you get into Geo Gallery. So the only thing that's going to help you know that difference is looking at the logo right here. Right now we're on FinerWorks. So I've created my account. I have it on here. I want to sell on Geo Galleries. Next thing I got to do is kind of look at the licensing and connect it. And we get this also in FinerWorks when you look at integrate. So if you hit the integrate button, that will also take you here. These are other integrations, which we're going to have also on future Zoom. So if you're on Etsy and Shopify and you want to have basically the orders just dropped into FinerWorks, we'll show you how to do those integrations. So let me get back over to my dashboard. So like I said, right now we've created our FinerWorks account. We want to link it and basically start our Geo Galleries account. And if you have never used FinerWorks before and you're going to get ready to do your Geo Galleries and you're unfamiliar with the media, I usually tell people go ahead and get a starter kit. They're $20 if you're just getting it without metal in it. And it includes a $20 gift card, which is great when you want to start getting samples printed and sent to you. You can do that. It comes also with a calibration card. So if you are new to doing printing, this is great. You would take this little card right here, and basically you just kind of hold it up to your monitor, and a lot of the times it's going to be basically your brightness level, but you want to get that all situated so that way when you upload your prints, they match. You know what colors you're going to expect on your print. So that's something to know. So here I am. I'm going to connect to Geo Galleries. Okay. Title on my gallery. Okay. This is basically when you come over here, your title on your gallery will be like this, where it says just artist. So if we go to his page here, it won't be the URL. Remember, your URL is going to be your username, but right here is where that name is going to appear. So that's the other thing. Some people will stay all caps. Some people put this all together. Don't. Try to think of it just as you would read it on the page. So you want it on the street grid is right here. You're going to add, right now, Geo Galleries can only pay out through PayPal. So you need to have a PayPal account. And you're going to put the email, not your PayPal me link. And you're going to put that there so that 30 days after the sale of the print, we can deposit to your account. The licensing you want to go over right here, just so you can read it. And basically, you know, it's based that you retain the rights to your art. You're just giving us the authority to make prints through FinerWorks. FinerWorks is the exclusive, basically printer for everything here on Geo Galleries. And it lets you know what's great about this is like we do not take any money up front. It's when you get into your pricing, which we'll discuss, Geo Galleries takes 10% of whatever the retail price you put on there. So you get to a whole bunch of that information, and we'll get into it as you see. That way I can explain all of those. But do read through this. Once you're done reading and if you're comfortable with everything on there, you know, I have acknowledge and join. Hi, James. I'm glad you're watching on Facebook. Okay, so now we have our Geo Galleries connected, and you'll see the Geo Galleries connection on two places. Right here in your FinerWorks, there's going to be a new box here that you can collect on, or here on the side, which will give you this. So we're going to go ahead and go to Geo Galleries. Again, you can click on either one. You're also going to start to see this My Sales here. So let's click on our Geo Galleries, and we're going to go to that dashboard. And again, like I said, it's a lot like FinerWorks dashboard, except that here you see that that logo has changed. Okay. And first thing you want to start doing is let's go ahead and build your profile. And that's going to be your bio and stuff on the front page that you see that we saw in those other ones here. So you want to upload a portrait of yourself, not your logo. And I'll show you where you can upload a logo. I know some of y'all will also use FinerWorks to do order fulfillment, and there is a place for that. But here, put your photo. One thing with Geo Galleries that I would like to see done is that it is personable, because it's one thing you do miss on the internet. And me working in galleries all my life and being an art junkie, knowing and making a connection with the artist, that helps the sell. I have a connection to the artist. I like talking about the artist to people who view my art collection. So make sure you go ahead and upload that photo. On here, you're going to go ahead. Please put your email address. You should have already done that when you created your FinerWorks account. But this is where your Geo Galleries newsletter will go to. Okay, that'll announce our Geo Galleries group Zoom dates and stuff like that. Phone, that's optional to you. Sometimes that's great to have on there if you have something from FinerWorks and they need to get a hold of you. I've used it a couple of times on Geo Galleries when I've seen some things that I'm like, wow, you know, your art is upside down. We need to change the orientation of the file that you uploaded. I'll try and get that. Again, your PayPal email right here, not your PayPal me link. It needs to be that. Your Instagram pages, all of these, go ahead and fill out, because hopefully on the update is what I'm going to have is people to go to those Instagram pages and things like that. So put that on there. Your bio, you know, put in here. And your bio doesn't have to be a Moby Dick novel or anything like that. It can be something brief. Talk about, and again, the connection people have, like the area you're from, things that have inspired you. Are you self-taught, or are you educationally trained? Anything you can give kind of on that. You don't have to get too personal if you don't want to, but some people do, because you know, maybe their children are part of their artwork. So go ahead and take a look at that and put your information in there. So you want to get all that set up. Now, again, you want to make sure you have done a good job on the digital capture of your prints. No matter what printer you go to, if you put up a fuzzy print, I mean, I'm not kidding you. I have people looking at their 1990 websites and their MySpace stuff, and it's a 72 DPI image, and they're right-clicking, copying the image, and it was already a thumbnail, but they want a 16 by 20 of it, and they want it sharp and crisp. It's not a sharp and crisp picture to begin with. And then again, you want to know about your aspect ratios. We have somebody who says, I have a square picture, but I want to make it round and I don't want any cropping done, but I want it to fit on a round. That's not going to happen. You know your dimensions of your artwork. And that's going to help you on building your collections here. So going back into the dashboard, there are going to be several things you're going to do on here. And there's some questions right here that we frequently get. And these will be really quick for y'all. You can read through if you have anything when you're first starting. Also here is basically that information I told you about providing your title and bio for your gallery. And if you hate the username that you set up for your account, which is going to be right here, that's going to be, your username is going to be your URL. Let me know and I can help you all change that. And I'll show you this on here. So we're also going to have, there are qualifiers basically to uploading your photos and making them active. And that information is right here. So one of them is that you need to have a title on the image, and the description to it is going to have 20 characters minimum. You're also going to assign a main gallery / category and a collection. That makes your account active. But the other thing you do is we have default inventory. Once you've made all of those things, you want to go ahead and get rid of the default inventory. Make 3 inventory items to get rid of that. So let's start loading up images. Use 2 ways to go to that. I'm going to show you here. Just note that your FinerWorks files are not going to transfer over onto the Geo Galleries stuff. So you need to be in your Geo Galleries to do this. When you're making print orders in FinerWorks, they're going to be in a temp folder. And that's because they are purged after a year. And that keeps that storage, available. On Geo Galleries, we have our own individual storage. So you want to make sure that you do your upload on your Geo Galleries side. And that's part of what you get with that little 10% that we take. It's that storage that we're maintaining to keep all of the images going. So I've uploaded, but we can go in here to get more on here. You would just hit add files, because I'm file sharing my screen. So I'm going to do it this way. Desktop, test images. So that'll get uploaded. And I'm uploading work by Tim Olson, who is a San Antonio artist, but I helped him, and it looks like some of y'all know Tim there. I see some nods. Okay. And y'all may know some of these murals too. Nick Soup is known here in San Antonio, Eva Sanchez. So I have some of these photos up here just to kind of use as an example. So now that I have my inventory up here, we're going to go ahead and start in settings. We're basically going to start preparing our work to show. As I said, as soon as you kind of do all of the qualifiers on this, as long as this was a 300 DPI image, basically that the resolution is high enough, and you fill out the qualifiers, like I said, it's going to become active it's going to make your website active. If you need some time to work in that, you can go ahead and move this over to hide and update, so that while you're working, it's not popping up until you're ready. So as you see on the title, it goes in by whatever your JPEG file name is. And you don't want that appearing up on there. You'll get something like this. And like I said, this is what I'm doing right now, is going to and contacting artists and photographers to let them know, hey, your title needs to be, we don't want this to kind of be what customers see. So when you get into here, you really want to make sure you go ahead and make the title as you want it to appear. So I can do that. Take out the JPEG. And again, I'm going to update the settings. On here, we will put a description. And this is another thing that sometimes is a roadblock for people, other than title, because I know titling a piece sometimes can give you like hours of grief. You can even put in like study 1, study 2. As long as it looks more like that is a title that someone could refer to, or if they needed to ask you about, you would be able to understand what they're referring to. Here you can put something like 2019, you know, it's like, I think we have it as, when I forget, I just come here on Tim's stuff, and you can start to use, some of them might be stuff you used before. Once you get a whole bunch going, if you're kind of the same media, stuff like that, Control C. Especially if you have it on other sites, you can go ahead and copy from there as well. Okay, so I'm going to put, you know, it's a collage drawing on a book cover. So I'm giving what the original was. On Tim, for instance, he uses one paper media that he sells his prints in, which is the beautiful fine art velvet paper. I love it. It's very delicate in on the darker colors. So if you did this in like a whole solid black, if you ran your fingernail across it, it would give you a little line drag mark. So on different inks, depending on how saturated you go and how much it covers, just know that. And again, we'll go ahead, if you've never done FinerWorks before, I'll show y'all how that what you can do to help you along on making your inventory. So I just put that kind of information in. Nothing big. You don't have to go. If you'd like to add stuff on there, like what inspired you, go ahead. That's the great stuff. On the gallery, again, these are going to be the categories that people can select from when they come to Geo Galleries. What did I do? I think I might have, there we are. So when I get here, I'm going to select, say, there's animals, there's also birds. So depending on how you want to do that. And again, these are typically just some of the things most often search for. If you see, I have somebody who's a calligraphy artist and she wanted to see something calligraphy on here. We haven't added that on there. I would use, if she has it with birds, let's say it's a bunch of birds on there and she has calligraphy, a calligraphy type on there, I told her, go ahead and select birds. Just again, this is just something to help people if they're kind of wandering around looking. Then you can go ahead and make your collection right here. And if you haven't, if it's blank, it'll say unassigned. You're able to click on this little thing and go through, but save first before you leave the page. If you need to go make a new, let me get on here, pop that open again. If you need to make a new collection name, you would go on the manage collection, or again, you can come on the side to do that as well. But that's just a quick little shortcut. You would make birds. And I'm going to add that collection and it'll appear right here. And you also have the option of them being active. You can remove them. If you're going to remove that, remember you want to make sure you have nothing in there. If you remove the collection, everything that you assigned in that collection will be gone. So make sure you don't delete before you need to. So I'm going to go back to my inventory files, back into settings. And now I have to go ahead and add that collection. And again, you can call that something different. I think on Tim's, I think I have it as animals, and he's got other collections of wit and stuff like that. So it doesn't have to match whatever your gallery. It can be something different on there. You can come up with, again, abstracts or book pages, whatever you want to call your collection. So now that you have that all in there, we're going to start on your virtual inventory. And when you're starting on your virtual inventory, especially if you're new to FinerWorks, like I said, that starter kit that I was talking about is a good way to go ahead and take, because it comes with a pack of our paper samples that you'll get like this. And it comes all in that folder. There's also, if you want to add the metal on there, if you're looking, especially for you digital artists, it's $10 more to add that metal on there, but it's worth it. There's 4 different types of metal, but you get to see kind of, how the inks are. You feel the texture of the paper. Some are very smooth, like archival matte is a very nice smooth. And I usually tell people if you want to start with them, that's a good one to start with. I like watercolors on the bright white watercolors papers. And again, you'll see all of those in there. Let me go into, but there's so much with FinerWorks when we get into doing this. So I want to make sure y'all know where to go on the site if y'all need to take a look. But as you can see, we offer a lot of different paper media right here. And all of them are different in texture, in brightness of the white. Remember, printing does not print white. So you want to look at what that natural white, if that's an important factor in the print of your art. So I suggest get that starter kit, and that way also your file is going to be awesome when you load it up. But do that, because the only thing I think you probably will not get we have samples of our canvas in there, but if you need help on canvas prints too, and you want to take a look at it, this is also our canvas on here. Also lets you do pricing, and you can see you can do custom size. And like I said, with FinerWorks, what's awesome if you make orders for yourself is that we have volume discounting, and you can always go see where these end up. Hey Jimmy, I just saw you pop up on Facebook there. You'll go ahead and do this to get see what discounts you would get if you decided to order in volume. And this is good if you decide to do something like you want to come up with a wholesale pricing. Usually I'll tell somebody, yes, we have wholesale, you just have to buy 4 of the prints. And this gets the price down a little lower. So that's also great on there. And it's also the backing. For Geo Gallery artists, I suggest on the finishing, the professional, what do you call it, tape and wire hanger on there. What I like about it is the way the tape lies and stuff on there. It exposes some of the wood of the stretcher bars, which I think looks pretty, and it makes it look like it feels like a real piece of canvas. They can also see the backing of the canvas. And what I have loved about FinerWorks, and I'm going to explain just the canvas because that is something I really like a lot of Geo Galleries artists to offer. The canvas on ours is such great quality. I've seen people paint on it for hand embellishment. And then I've ordered canvas, just to see what, the kind of competition has out there. And I've gotten plastic pieces basically. And I've seen the plastic canvas used on it. It is cheaper, but if you're in Texas and you load somebody's car up with a plastic canvas, I'm gonna let you know what happened with some other galleries that have carried some of these pieces. It melts, the corners melt, the bars warp. It hasn't looked great at all. So this is, if people, ask, well, with your prices, because I have artists that sell their canvases at booths, you can ask for more. This is a really, really quality canvas that we offer, and our inks are archival. I will always stand by whatever our products are here. We're going to get ready, like I said, to add our inventory. So let's go in here. And if you're a FinerWorks customer who's made orders, you're probably used to this tool. This actually takes you to FinerWorks Post tool, which is the print online setup tool. And for the first things I'm going to do is make some paper prints. And remember, we want to create 3 items so we can get rid of default inventory, which you'll see here and why it's not great to have it. Default inventory, what happens is it picks the center of the image, and default inventory picks a size, and it goes by half the times of the cost to make its retail cost here, which doesn't pay you that much. You want to be able to go higher. And as you can see on these canvases, they're gallery wrapped. So the image where the person is here is now wrapped around the side. So this person has to come in and kind of create their 3 inventory items, because this is not going to look good. And that's not how you want your art presented. So you want to make sure we're creating these 3 inventory items. And like I said, if you're you don't know what you want, archival matte paper is a great start paper. It's very bright white, it's smooth. So if you have something along those lines, again, I talked to Tim and we had done basically a sample of all the papers, and he really liked the fine art paper velvet. So that has a little texture. It feels great. Let me see here. So we can go ahead on this one, how you want to do your prints. Like this is going to print borderless if I decided not to. So I do want to add actually a whole extra inch around. And we're going to talk about sizing here. Again, this is where you want to know what your aspect ratio is. I'm really bad at aspect ratio, and I actually go into Photoshop to find all of my different sizes. But if I said I wanted this to be a 16 by 20, for instance, you're going to see that now it is cropped in places. I'm like, well, that doesn't show my full image. That's because the full image, its aspect ratio is not 16 by 20. But if you're die hard, it has to be a 16 by 20. You can do something where you move around up there. You're not going to be able to scale down with it, but you can go ahead and kind of drag where that can fit and where it would fit for a 16 by 20. Now, me knowing that that is not the size, and the great thing about FinerWorks is everything here can be custom. So you're going to have to work though in whole digits, so on whole inches. So I think this is 28. I'm going to update that. Okay. So here it is now. You see the whole thing is now showing up. Okay. And what's great is you have a couple of different aspects. For photographers, for instance, if you're going to do this and you're like, well, I know the aspect ratio is the same for all of my photos, you have the luck of going ahead and saying, okay, I want to offer this print exactly the same media, same border. If they're all going to be this thing, you could always do the batch print, and you would select different things on here and add selected right here, and it'll put them over here. You'll know you have them because the images will appear. And I'm not going to do it for this example right now, just because I don't want to have to go undo all of this right now, because I know the aspect ratios are not the same for those. So you can do that. Let me see, I'm not going to do that. Let me make sure, cancel batch. So right now, this is a piece I have. That's one inventory item, right, for this image, and I need to make 3. So I'm going to save that to inventory. The other way you can make some things on here is offer this again if you want to do it in different media. Let me see how well it does when I do this, if I don't make it angry. So we're going to go ahead and do a canvas now of it. I like the Artisan Archival canvas. I think it's great. Again, we're going to go, because there's different ways you can do it. Remember, gallery wrap will cut into your image. So if you're not setting up images for that, and again, I don't think a lot of people will, because it's going to be for different stuff, go ahead and select thick, stretched, and mounted. I like the thick stretch over the thin stretch. I think it just looks better. So again, I know this is going to be a custom size. I'm going to offer it as a 16 by 28. You could also have 3 different sizes of the print if that's what you want to do. And then you have this, you can color your sides there as well. Oh, let me go back up here. Remember I told you I like that professional tape and wire hanger. That does add $10 to the price, but it's great. I used to cut those things for everybody when I was in Canvas. So I think it looks beautiful. You can pick a color through here, and that will, I'm going to put something obvious so that y'all can see the difference. and it colors your sides. Now, if for whatever reason you need to, you can go to your Photoshop, and if you have a certain color on here you want to pick, you would just use your eyedropper on there and get the RGB colors right here and enter them in, and it'll put that color in for you exact. But like I said, for this piece, I'm just going to have this here. I'm going to save that to inventory. And I need one more to get rid of that stuff there. So let's go ahead. I am going to offer maybe a metal print on here. Or actually, let me show y'all to another one we can do back into the fine art papers. Let me go into, you can actually do framing as well. Border doesn't matter. You can keep it borderless for framing. It'll come in, I believe it's 1/8 or 1/16. I'll double check on that, but that's how much the mat will come in if you do that. So custom size. And a great thing is, like I said, you can kind of keep your custom size on here. And, you know, a lot of buyers are going to have to go ahead and get it custom framed, but you're able to go ahead and add some framing choices on there. Me, I like pricing wise, you can go with the gallery economy. I like a piece in gallery economy is the Alto Thin right here. And again, on the FinerWorks side, if you need to go see all of that, you can do that. So here's the base mat. Let's say I want to go with something a little, let's just say a basic white. So I can select that. Okay, you can increase that up if you want to 19. So if you want to, there you go, you've made that on there. You can also add, if you just want that to be your liner, you can do that. Or if you want to give it a different color, make that your base mat and do a top mat if you want to. Let's say you select white. And then if you want to do that, again, you would just play around with your window sizes and stuff here. Let's go ahead and, oops, went the wrong way there. But you could just play around with that. So however you want to design your mat. Then there's a glazing. Again, for me, I like conservation reflection control just because I've kind of gotten to be a snob on my stuff. The great thing about this is that it preserves everything underneath there. The UV protection is on there and the reflection control is on there. So when it makes a reflection control just makes a better display piece, I think, on anything framed. So I will select that. And as you guys have seen right here, you're seeing what the price is on there. So I'm going to save that to inventory. Okay, and then now I'm going to take a look at my inventory. And there's two ways to get to that, right? Here's the inventory that we've created for all of that I've done for everything that I have on here, right? If you just want to go to that specific, and you can always go again to your inventory files, settings, product, and that'll show you just the inventory for just that image. So looking at this, what's awesome, let me move this, you guys, over for a little bit on our Zoom. What's great is here is that you're seeing, okay, this is what the cost is. Let's go down to here where it's not framing because prints are easier to explain right now. Okay, so here's your print cost. This is the cost if you bought the print directly from FinerWorks, right, just for yourself. So what this is doing here is setting the, I'm going to show y'all the info right here. This is a range that you can go between $73.50 and $147, 3 times the cost of your print. So on here, that is your range. And what you want to think about is going ahead and going up on the higher range just if you want a wholesale price. But let's look right now at just that bare minimum, half of what the cost is. Okay. And then like I said, you would say 49 and half of 49 plus that amount will give you the 73 that we saw up there, and 73.50. So your artist royalty right there is going to be 24.50 minus that 10%. I told you that FinerWorks Gallery takes out, Geo Galleries will take out $7.35 of that sale. What goes to your PayPal then will be $17.50. So you really want to play around with this cost. Hit that edit info. Now also here, don't put the title in. Don't, overdo your time, keep putting it in here. It disappears. It's because that is not what's related to the image title. That's done in settings. But we're going to put $147.00. Don't add any, don't add the dollar character, just plain like that. Update. Okay. So now we'll take a look here again. Your artist royalty there is going to be $98. And because we put it at 147, the 10% of that is $14.70. That's deducted from the royalties right there. And the profit for you that's now put into your PayPal is $83.30. So you see why it's important not to just leave it with default inventory. Like I said, this is going to be priced lower. And when default inventory shows up, it shows up as additional purchase items. You really want to take the time to go ahead and get that all set up. Now that I at least have the 3 inventory items, if you'd like, what you could do is go here to your display details, and you can remove that to show and update. And once you get the first image up there showing, it's going to make your gallery basically active, and you'll see it up on here. Let's go here. So we have like Tim's in here. I don't want to put mine up because they're examples and I don't want them live on there. So I'm going to show you all these examples of live on here. But as you can see with Tim's stuff, I just did that. It's offered in different print sizes, and I offered it in a different frame sizes. I did a small 4x7 print, which is like an homage basically to the original print, and I framed it out. Then we have that here as well where they're offered. I go big, and then a canvas piece offered on here. And the great thing about all of this is it's virtual inventory. You're not paying to get these, to do any of this. They go to the site, they see it, they buy it, the order comes here. The great thing with Geo Galleries that you don't get with Etsy and Shopify, with Etsy and Shopify, you still have to submit your orders. So with this, they come directly to Geo Galleries. And the other thing with that is because FinerWorks is our support, let me get over here. Because FinerWorks is our support, and they're going to have this. Your customers can contact us, and they can ask about their order. Where is it? Why is it, where is it on the status? Is it shipping? Maybe they want to change the shipping address. You don't have to worry about that. Customer support at FinerWorks is going to take care of that. But know that this contact form is more for customers. Unfortunately, there isn't a tech support for artists. Y'all just get me. So the best thing you can do is if you do have something happening, you can contact here on the subject. You can put, Melissa issue with my Geo Galleries. I will get that, and I will take care of anything that is happening with it. So that is going to be setting up your Geo Galleries. And once you have all of that going and you have your stuff on here, like I said, your website now is going to be whatever your username was, and you can start promoting that, sending it out, let people know, hey, I have work here. We also have a social media presence that we're starting up here. Like I said, we're just under a year, so we are, but I say, follow us as well. That way I can tag you. So we'll look at, okay, so here we have those on there. They also go to the Facebook page. While Instagram does not allow you to have an active site or link to click on, when this posts over to our Facebook, the link is then active. So we're building that, and we're trying to get more followers. The people I would go on to try and get us as followers are interior designers. So I want y'all to think about your pieces when you add them on there, especially photographers, because I know y'all can have 300 shot in one day. Think of what would be well hung in, I always tell people I'm trying to get some interior designers that do hotels or do pieces like this. So think of things that, maybe that would go well in a hotel. Things that interior designers might recommend for more than one buy. And the other thing is, as a Geo Gallery artist, we want you guys successful. We want people to meet you. So let me know if you have shows or something like that going on. We don't mind promoting them and telling people, hey, y'all have this going on. You're going to be XYZ. We'll let people know so they can go meet you if they're in that area. And that's to help build a bond between you and your collectors, because people buy from who they know. And I mean, I can think of several artists that I buy. As soon as they have anything out, I want something. And it's because I really love the artist as well as their art. So that's our social there. And then for those of you on, we also have a when you get onto Geo Galleries, you're going to get an email that'll tell you, hey, join our Geo Galleries creative group. Let me see next. So I don't know if it's going to let me because I'm streaming, but I guess not. Okay, we do have that group. And when you get on there, you can, we have a Thursday afternoon Zoom on there. If y'all having issues, it's a great place. I can share the screen with you. If you're having problems, or if you can't think of what to offer, we can do that too. So it's a great little resource. You can also ask your other fellow artists, for feedback if you want to test how an image might do or look. It's great. With that, I'm gonna go ahead on our Zoom call and unmute everybody so that if y'all want to ask any questions, you just gotta go in and unmute yourself if it's still showing up as mute. And Ilana, did y'all have any questions?
No.
No?
Michael's.
Huh?
We always have our originals and any prints that we buy. We spend as much money on getting them framed as it takes, because we're not interested in having them damaged.
Yeah. And what's awesome on the canvas is we do have floater frames also. So you can also, do floater frames on the pieces that you offer on your Geo Gallery site. So note that as well. And I think that's just going to take, yeah. Like I said, FinerWorks has a lot of different options with stuff on there. So if you're ordering for yourself, you're able to go under the buy frames, and we have a wizard. If you're just going to have the frame sent to you and you're going to screw that in, we have a whole great wizard there to take you through, and I'll ship it to you. But on your framing options, when you're doing your inventory, you can select, what do you call it? A canvas, and you can put it in a floater frame as well. How about Carlos? Did you have any? I know we've shown you like a couple things just on our Geo Galleries creative pages, Carlos, when we've done like the color side thing, I think was your big thing that you had saw on there. Is there anything that you can think of that people new to Geo Galleries might like to know?
I think it's the, for people that are new, you can talk to them about the different, I guess you went over the different types of art paper, but also with the metal prints, there's different backs that you can order from that And what you do is I think you click on
Here, yeah, we'll go
the
back.
info button of each type. There's maybe like 4 different types of metal prints. And if you click on the back, it'll tell you what, like, how the backs look. Yeah, like that.
So like he was saying, I went to products, went to metal, and on, like I said, we have the 4 different metal types on here: the gloss and the matte, and then white and silver. The silver basically shows kind of where the white negative space would be, and then here are the different backings that he's talking about. And again, before you're building that inventory, go on to FinerWorks and kind of play around on that, and take a look at something before you start building your inventory, because there's so much you can offer. And the great thing about all of it, again, it's virtual inventory, so you don't have to worry about purchasing it right up front and having, I mean, once you get these, it's great. Now, if you're like me and you really need control over everything, I'll do, let me see, I don't know if it'll show with my, oops, I just knocked out my light. But I will order a test print, and it's going to be kind of hard to see, but there's a whole test print, and compare it with the original. So I ordered the largest thing that I'm offering, and then I'll have the artist look at it, and if what do you call it, what I do to make the money back on it is sell that as an artist proof. And if we haven't sold the original yet, sell it with the original and bundle the price in there. And I paid for the piece also, to be printed and have an artist proof, and I know what it's going to look like. The other thing you can do is soft proofing, which is something we'll talk in other FinerWorks kind of topics. But soft proof it, I usually do like an 8x10, and I go take a sample of each size without, no resizing, no nothing, of the largest part of file I'm going to do. I take it, I size it at 16x20, and then I'll make an 8x10 and put slivers in, kind of like the way a photo contact sheet is. And then I just go in just to see how the detail, and I just pay for the 8x10, and I look at the image on there and say, okay, well, that's a little pixelated. I'm probably going to have to get a better file. That wasn't a great file after all. Or the color is going to need some work on that one, because I have them all set. I want them just to upload without any color correction. So if I know it's going on the same media and one is a little pinker than I want it to be, then I know I have to do some work on it. That's just my kind of little tip and trick, but we'll have other people on from FinerWorks that, have done these, for many years. I've been only doing ads for about a year with my stuff. But we'll have some more tips like that on more of these Zoom calls. So now I know we had a lot of people that were here locally in San Antonio, and I'm really glad so many of y'all came in on this, because a lot of y'all were saying you were unfamiliar with FinerWorks. And I'm hoping y'all will come by. You'll see a lot of people there you might know either from Blue Star. There's a lot of artists that work in our warehouse there and putting these prints together. So, if you're local, come by and visit, come get a sample papers and everything so you can see what the papers feel like. But if there's any other questions, I can let me go look up on our Facebook feed. I think I have James answering there for us.
That's cool.
About sculptures.
Oh, yes. Oh, I think we were talking, I think she was mentioning earlier that you were a sculpture artist, and what I've recommended to friends who are sculpture artists, especially if they have public art pieces, is there's so many gift shops that are making money from a photograph from public art pieces. So sculptures, have them photographed. You can have them photographed day, night, different angles, and offer those photos up as prints and stuff like that. And people, especially tourists, find those photos online, and then they're able to say this is directly from the sculptor. And again, it's people wanting that connection with the artist. So for sculptors, this is another revenue, just to have some photos up of your work and having them sell as a passive income right there, as opposed to like just making that one-time sell on the commission piece. Other people are making money on photographs of you might as well too. It's going to mean more coming from you than it is going to be coming from a gift shop where people don't know anything about the artist, or you're able to go put stuff in there, you know, add a piece to it, either on the description and talk about it, how it was created. You're going to be able to give that kind of information that a place at gift shop isn't going to be able to do. So
That's
think
a good
about that
idea.
if you're a sculptor. Yeah, because there's,
I
I
didn't
mean,
think of that.
yeah, right
Some of my
now,
things are usually so big and very, very heavy.
yeah,
That, you know, once they're sold, they don't move them anymore. and but I've got a lot of photographs, a lot of good photographs.
yeah,
So we can always take more photographs.
exactly. So, I mean, why not make more money on it? And that's, like I said, that's
I
one
hadn't
thing.
thought of that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so we definitely like to see them. Like I said, we have so many different artists that we make prints for here, and sculpture artists are among them. And like I said, that's them being able to make more money off of that original piece. You know, don't
Yeah.
get paid one time. Other people are making money on your art. You might as well make money on it too.
This is all new to me.
Well, you'll get the hang of it, and we hope to
I
see you on
guess.
it. You know?
I'm enjoying what I'm doing. In fact, I went and picked up some more pieces today that I have an ideal for, but I'm trying to make really large pieces now.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of small ones, you know, 10 inches, 18 inches, whatever I had laying around.
Mm-hmm.
Toro told me that bigger is better.
Yep. I like bigger pieces too.
And all these are in the 6.5, 7 feet tall area.
Yeah. I buy canvas pieces that are pretty big. I think I went to Lone Star Doc Space's big art thing, and I bought one of those pieces on there. So, you know, thank God for PayPal credit, 6 months to pay that off interest free. And then I had to let them store it for a while because I didn't really have the wall space to do that. But I've built out in my storage canvas slates in there. So I redecorate. So when anybody tells you, oh, I don't have enough any more wall space, you tell them you kind of change out your art, you know? So, I mean, I have
Rotate things out all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
She'll get a wild hair and just rearrange everything and make it different.
Yep.
It's the same pieces. So.
Yep. That's always my thing when people tell me that, oh, I have no wall space. Oh yeah, you do. You just put some stuff down, you rechange it out, and you have a beautiful look for the season. I have some pieces that are very summery to me, so I bring those out for summer. But yeah, it's always a great thing to have out there. But like I said, having a Geo Galleries right now, while you know the fairs are gone and all of the stuff is out, it's great to go ahead and say, you know, I want to put this on. You just copy this right here. That's your URL, and you can either make it a bit.ly if you want to, but you just grab that URL, stick it on your Facebook, and tell your, you know, people who are already following, who are probably some of your collectors, I have a space here online. They can do that because they're able now to go ahead and buy whenever they want to, especially if they have friends that they want to buy for. And now with the one thing I do suggest also in here is kind of stick to basically prints and canvas and metal pieces. The FinerWorks, like I said, it has so many things, but we also have, I'm going to go ahead and make some, like the mugs and drinkware. I've had a lot of people go ahead and add those on. And what you have to know is there are sizing for that. So the files right here, you'd want them as 8.2 by 3 by 5. And if you're loading up a 16 by 20 something, again, think of that circle and square. It's going to either crop your image, or it's in some cases with abstracts that looks okay, and if you're fine with that, okay. But I really suggest like to have those off on this side. Do not put them in there. I had a friend who was one person who was, you know, had some mugs on there. They're great, and they want to have them on here. I came up with a special collection, but you see it looks kind of awkward because it's showing by default the mock-up for a wall piece, and because that's exactly what Geo Galleries is for, is wall pieces. So wanting a mug on there, I uploaded a whole different file, so it's not the same file that you would see on there. But again, to get rid of those default things, you have to have the 3 items on there. So I couldn't just have a mug. So I went ahead and offered it as a paper piece and a framed paper piece with it. But if you're going to do something like that, that's the thing. Also with mugs, you can't really go that high on pricing, and you're not going to get a lot back on it. If you do it, do the big ones, because they're more, for me, the coffee mug stuff with art is promotional, but that you don't have to pay for, basically. You basically make your buy event, but they have it. I tell people, go with the 15 ounce, because everybody's favorite coffee mug is the bigger mug. And if you're going to have it on there, it has your name and it stays in front of your collector. That's the only thing I can think of with the coffee mugs. We do have some people who have a couple of things, like I think we have somebody who has a puzzle and mouse pad and pillow. We do all of that at FinerWorks, and you can offer it here. But again, that's going to be up to you. I'm just saying, pay attention when you do make that available. If you're going to do a pillow, then I say again, you're probably going to have to do a certain size, and you want to make sure that if you're going to make it its own little item, that you maybe make a paper print and a frame print of it, just to get rid of all of the default inventory, because again, it won't work dimensionally. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Or sometimes if you want to put something that's very large photograph or whatever like this, and if you have to shrink it down to nothing,
Yeah,
it's just no longer art.
yeah.
It's just
Right.
just a bunch of marks on a cup.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like I said, there's ways to do it. Like I said, I scaled down on that one and put the art small, so the whole full thing is showing. And then he had positive inspirational things to go on the other side of it. And that was a lot within Photoshop to do. And again, not big return, but if it's something you feel you absolutely need out there because maybe it was popular at the fair sales and you want to have it out there, just know you're not going to make that much on it. But at the same time, you do not have the physical inventory to kind of, lug around. It's print on demand. It goes straight to your customer. If anything happens in shipping, they can contact us and we will go ahead and take care of any damaged items and getting them taken care of. And 30 days after that sale, you'll see in your PayPal a deposit. And when you start getting sales, what you're going to look for, let me make sure I have that here on this side, is click on my sales. This right now, because I don't have anything on here. It's not an active account. You'll start to see here. And what's awesome about Geo Galleries is we're going to give you all of your customers' information, where you would not get your collector's information if you're selling at a brick and mortar gallery. You're going to have that on there, their emails. And so if you're doing something like MailChimp for your future upcoming shows, you're going to have that information, what state, what city they're in, and their email. And you're able to make those things. Hi, I'll be in your area. Would you like to come to my show? That's just another thing to offer to help, artists kind of think of all of this as a business and making money on their art. It's fun to be an artist. I just don't like the starving artist in front of it. So
Yeah.
and we've
Well,
had
I have a question.
Sure.
It's in regards to like if I want to tell customers to come and purchase some art, is I want to give them like a guarantee as far as they'll get what they pay for, and the shipping. Is there like what's the, like if I say, okay, I offer, should I offer like a 30-day money back guarantee once everything is shipped and it's in proper place and it's hung and it's.
That's why we take 30 days to pay out the artist. It gives it time in transit to get there. If there's something they do not like and they contact us, we'll do everything on our end first. Maybe it was like they had a scratch. Some people yank these out of the boxes and they've scratched glazing. And they'll contact us and we'll make it good with them. And if it's not where they say, hey, I don't like it, I really want my money back, we'll go ahead and, again, through Geo Galleries, as customer service from FinerWorks is working with them, they will take care of all of that. And like I said, if there's anything along those lines, I make sure to notify the artist too, like, hey, we had this and the person wasn't happy. Sometimes, like I said, people say, oh, I didn't upload a very good image and I didn't check it, and a friend of mine bought it and they don't like it. We're gonna say, okay, we're gonna get it, we're gonna refund them the money. We take care of that part. You're just getting paid. That's pretty much it.
Okay. And I also have another question. Well, it's one of the things that I do. I think I did it with one of your prints when I purchased it. It was about 2 years ago.
Let's get to yourself.
That I purchased that I had printed out through FinerWorks, and one of the pieces I posted, or it's on my piece. It's a portrait,
Mm-hmm.
and what I do is I print it out on canvas, and then I apply like an acrylic gel medium on it,
Mm-hmm.
so to kind of create that painterly texture look
Mm-hmm.
to it. Is there a way you offer that, or
No, but this is what,
no?
because that becomes almost more personalized. And what I say do is you can have your standard prints on your Geo Galleries, but you can go
Mhm.
ahead, like I said, through your FinerWorks account, order it. You do your own hand embellishment. Now, you want to make sure you price well, because you're basically going to have to do a shipping twice, shipping to get the piece to you
Right.
and do the embellishment and then ship it out. But
Okay.
you would offer that on your own site, or through your own, like if I have some people who are doing this through their own Instagram, where they get the direct message from somebody, that's how they're doing their orders. Some people are
Yeah.
literally using off Instagram. They have people who like it. They put the order in and they're doing it all through the direct messages and stuff on there. But
Yeah. That's kind of why I want to do it, to be honest with
something
you.
something that's going to be like that is going to be something special. And you can either, if you have a website, offer those kind of things on your site, or offer through your social, if that's the other way you're doing that, or if you're
Hmm.
doing something again where you're getting because either way you're going to have to get that to you to do the embellishment. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the best way you're going to want to handle those pieces. And it offers still something special about going to your website. Like, yeah, I have places on the web that sell my prints. I do have some customizable stuff, and it might be higher price, but you buy it directly through me. But you're able to do stuff like that, hand embellishment, canvases. um, we see a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Because I that's something I know in my area. No one's up. I've only seen it done by like maybe one or two artists in my area,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
and it really kind of throws people off when I'll do it, and I'll do the painting in a digital oil painting or whatever. Like the one I uploaded it about a couple of days ago. It's Miss Cabone 2017.
Yeah.
That was all done in a digital oil painting. It's under the portraits collection.
Under this, I think you only have one active in there.
Oh, just one active. Oh, I
We
must have.
have those on Thursdays at 3:00. So if you want to get onto those groups, we'll be glad to help you out with questions. But I thank everybody for joining tonight and participating, asking questions, and Facebook too. I think James has been on there answering some of those questions directly, so that's great. And if y'all have anything afterwards, just shoot us a message. You can direct it to me, Melissa, and I'll do my best to help you guys out.